Welcome back to the show. We've been having so many wonderful local authors on the show lately, and my next guest is one of those local authors. She is Anna Blauveldt. She is the author of Cat and the Meanies, which isn't actually a new children's book, Anna. This is an interesting story. Before we get to that, tell me a little bit about your background as an author and a writer.
My background is my career was with the federal government.
Okay.
And then after I left the government, I became a justice of the peace for a few years, but I always wanted to write. So I took a postgraduate program with Humber College for creative writing, and I got my master's degree in creative and critical writing with the University of Gloucestershire in the UK.
After your career?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, hats off to you.
I really wanted to get into the writing, so.
Well, and you decided to write a children's book, Cat and the Meanies. This goes back quite a few years, right? The idea behind this book.
Yes, Cat is based on my daughter, who's now 25. So you can imagine it's close to 2 decades old that I had the idea to write about Cat and the Meanies, and it evolved. I thought I was going to self-publish.
Okay.
So I contacted the artist who did all the wonderful pictures, and I arranged for all of that myself. And on the verge of printing, I got an offer from a publisher in the United States that they would take it forward from there.
That must have been exciting.
Yeah. So it took a little while.
Yeah, of course. And then unfortunately that publishing company ceased to exist.
They ceased operations about a year and a half. It was first published in 2016.
Okay.
And ceased to exist, a publisher, about a year and a half later.
And then you met Michelle.
Michelle Weatherall.
Who's coming on the show tomorrow, as a matter of fact, from Broken Keys.
Yes. It really was a good coincidence in timing because he's starting up a kids imprint of his publishing business. And we had connected, and he expressed an interest when he learned that I had a book, a kid's book that had gone out of print.
Tell me about the illustrator. You mentioned that you got in touch or made the publisher connected you with. Tell me a little bit about the illustrator, Stephanie Hill.
Actually, I connected myself.
Oh, you connected with Stephanie, okay.
And it's a big shout out to Stephanie Hill because as you can see, the pictures are amazing. They're individual works of art.
Yeah.
Vivid colors, really clear, crystal clear, and lots of interesting little details in each picture that she's done. I do consider them works of art. I've actually got them hanging in my house. Yeah.
Oh, that's special.
I have them framed and they're hanging.
What are some of the themes? What's the storyline we see in Cat and the Meanies?
The storyline is about a young girl, Cat, who thinks her parents have way too many rules, like most kids do, I suspect.
I felt my parents did, for sure.
Yeah. And she thinks they belong to a Meanies club. So she kind of dreams about all the things she'd do if she were free from all of the restrictions and all of the rules. And her mind goes into all sorts of adventures. Everything from letting the animals out at the zoo, to riding the extreme roller coaster, to whitewater rafting with pirates.
Nice.
So all of these antics that she would like to get up to, but there's an interesting twist in the end. I think, to me, it's a little bit reminiscent of Where the Wild Things Are, the classic children's story by Maurice Sendak. Nice little twist at the end.
We won't give that up, though, right? You have to purchase the book. Absolutely. What do you think young people take away from this book?
I think it takes away that it's important. I think it's an important stage to want to do your own thing, to go on your own adventures. But I think it's also important for kids to realize that the parents have an important role too.
Yeah. I know you're also excited because let me just reach over and grab this. The Leave Taking. This is your latest book to be released shortly. Is that right?
I'm having an exciting November because Cat and the Meanies is coming out today.
Right.
And The Leave Taking is coming out on the 22nd of November.
So tell me about this book. What's the story and inspiration behind it?
This is not a kid's book.
Okay.
It's a novella. It's a story of a 65-year-old woman who is terminally ill, who is in a less than perfect marriage, who decides she's going to have a big birthday celebration with her old college friends at a resort. And in the course of their weekend at the resort, there are a lot of secrets that each of them have held that start to come out, and it affects their relationships. I didn't want to make this a depressing story because it is a serious subject matter.
Right.
I wanted it to be a story about friendships, about courage, about taking things, deciding your own fate.
Is this it seems like a very personal story to you. Is this any personal experience?
It's personal in that I do rely a lot on my good friends for sharing things, for being comforting when needed. It's also, to me, the concept it deals with medical assistance in dying, and that is something that I've learned a little bit about myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's tell everybody at home how they can get a copy of this great children's book.
Cat and the Meanies, you can order it through wherever books are sold, but through, of course, Michelle Weatherall, and a shout out to him as well, thanking him for picking up on this again at brokenkeyspublishing.com.
And a reminder, this comes out, the leave taking?
On November 22nd, and that can be pre-ordered as well.
Oh, there you go. You can pre-order both of them. Well,
right.
and I'm glad you gave Michelle Weatherall a shout out because he's going to be on the show tomorrow. And
Excellent.
Of course, he launched his publishing company just this year, right?
And he's he's very supportive of Ottawa.
Oh, he's been
writers.
an amazing, one of the greatest supporter of writers and authors in this city. So we're looking forward to that. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. We'll be right back after this.